Oh boy. Well, the AC is just turned on, so it'll be interesting to see if that is picked up by the mic. Also, there's a very loud train that just went by, so pretty much everything's against me right now, right as I turn on the camera. But we'll just see what happens. Anyway, hello everybody. It's Lampini, and today I have a very different video for you guys today. It's the first nice day in Baltimore for the season, so I decided to make a video on the patio. And today, we're going to be talking about our good old friend, Aaron Rodgers. For those of you who don't know Aaron Rodgers, he is a Hall of Fame quarterback, first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback, four-time NFL MVP, and Super Bowl champion of the 2010 NFL season when they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. And yes, folks, Aaron Rodgers is probably a top 7, top 5 all-time quarterback. It's really strange how the Packers had Brett Favre, who in and of himself was a top 10 all-time quarterback, debatably. Brett Favre had a 18-plus year career with the Packers, and then the torch was passed to Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers is a first-ballot Hall of Fame quarterback as well, and in many ways even exceeded Brett Favre, who's already a top 10 all-time quarterback. The Packers had back-to-back top 10 all-time quarterbacks, which is pretty crazy to think about. But we're not talking about that kind of Aaron Rodgers today. We're talking about the Aaron Rodgers of present day. And all of you who know him now, he's become quite an enigma, shall we say, with his hippy-dippy moves. And as it stands right now, I decided to make this video because of what some of the rumors are about him, saying that he might potentially go to the Arizona Cardinals, or that the Steelers offered him a special tag that isn't used very often, where he's offered $15 million a year. And it got me thinking that I don't think we've ever seen a gradual decline of a Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame caliber quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. We've never seen a decline like this before. To put you guys into perspective, 2020 and 2021 were two of the best seasons Aaron Rodgers had ever had. Particularly in 2020, he threw 48 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, a stat line that no other quarterback has come close to sniffing. Aaron Rodgers historically has been one of the most efficient quarterbacks of all time. Touchdown interception ratios, passer ratings, QBRs. He's the best to ever do it, really. And in 2020 and 2021, he had back-to-back most valuable player seasons, but he exited the playoffs early in the conference championship and the divisional round, respectively, both times. Then came 2022. This is his age 39 season. He battled through a broken thumb injury, but he was very lackluster with his performance. The Packers ended up missing the playoffs, and that ended up being the last season that Aaron Rodgers ever played as a Green Bay Packer. Then Aaron Rodgers went on a retirement tour that could only be rivaled by his predecessor, Brett Favre. And to go back to Brett Favre again, Aaron Rodgers followed the exact same career trajectory that Brett Favre went through by signing with the New York Jets after his time with the Green Bay Packers. You really can't make this stuff up. That season was over by snap 4, which, I don't really believe in curses, but that moment made me believe in it more than I ever have before. But prior to that, there was thoughts that Aaron Rodgers might retire after the 2022 season. He eventually went with the Jets. And then for 2023, I don't think there was any doubt that Aaron Rodgers was going to come back and play for the Jets that season. There was no way that he wasn't going to, or 2024 rather, there was no way that he wasn't going to come back after losing it on the 4th snap of the game. For his age 41 season, he played all right, but he didn't play like his regular Aaron Rodgers self. He was playing for the Jets, though. They were 5-12. Aaron Rodgers had a pretty pedestrian season. I believe it was like 28 touchdowns, like 13 or 14 interceptions, putting the stat line right there. So he didn't do bad. By his standards, this was a below average season for Aaron Rodgers. It was like a 92, 93 passer rating, which is roughly around league average. To play that good at 41 years of age for the Jets, I mean, that's saying a lot, But then came again, is Aaron Rodgers going to retire? Once again, just like Brett Favre, is Aaron Rodgers going to retire? And ultimately, just like Brett Favre, that didn't happen. He played for the Pittsburgh Steelers in his age 42 season. Now, the interesting thing about this is, I think the Steelers are a franchise, a scheme, and a system that wildly benefits quarterbacks. Why do I say this? Because Ben Roethlisberger was able to play well for them. Mason Rudolph has played well for them. Justin Fields played well for them. He didn't play great, but he played well for them. He was able to succeed in the system. Even Russell Wilson was able to succeed in the system. So in my mind, I'm thinking, the Steelers are probably the best case scenario for a guy like Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, he's not what he was when he was with the Packers, the 4-time MVP, 40 touchdowns and single-digit interception kind of guy. He's 42. He's coming off an Achilles tear. He's probably operating at 75% his capacity. He's going to a team that has a great defense, a great system, and it's basically going to maximize his ability to succeed. What happened? The Steelers went 10-7 and were blown out in the wild card round, which, those of you who already know, that is what the Steelers have been for the last 6, 7, 8 years. As you look at Pro Football Reference here, that's what they've been ever since probably the 2017 season when they were upset by the Jaguars. Ever since then, that's what the Steelers have been. They've been the standard. 10 wins, 9 wins, squeaking into the playoffs, playing nice, solid, disciplined football, but having nothing to get them over the edge and getting blown out in the playoffs. Having Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback was supposed to help with that. What ended up happening? He had an average starting caliber NFL season. 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 93 passer rating. It was an average pedestrian NFL season. And they got blown out in the playoffs. So Aaron Rodgers did not provide any net positive for them that Justin Fields or Russell Wilson did the year prior. It's a bit concerning to me. He has all the savvy you want, but the Steelers he was supposed to succeed in. What made me decide to make this video is A, that the Steelers gave him that extension, which basically is just saying, we can do better than you. You can play for us if you want to, but we're not going to break the bank to pay for you. You're turning 43. This isn't Tom Brady at 43 or 44 or 45, who clearly is still able to play his game of football. We can take something else. We're okay taking something else. And Rodgers hasn't given them a decision. Just like last year, he hasn't given them a decision of whether he's going to play or not. It's the same old circus with him. And then the rumor mill comes around and says, oh, Aaron Rodgers might be going to the Cardinals. And on paper, it makes sense. Jacoby Brissett is their starter. They got rid of Kyler Murray. They don't have a real starter. So Aaron Rodgers would fit the bill. But Aaron Rodgers is not Jacoby Brissett or Tyrod Taylor or one of these journeyman quarterbacks. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, top 7 all-time quarterback. But he's obviously not what he once was. So at this point, if you're Aaron Rodgers, what do? You were put in the best situation to succeed with the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion. Maybe the only situation I think would be better would have been the Minnesota Vikings, which, if he did do that, he would have completed his Green Bay Packer, Brett Favre quarterback arc. The retirement teases, the going to the Jets, then he would have gone to the Vikings. He did it all. All he needs to do now is embezzle money from a Minnesota government grant to really speed run his Brett Favre speed run. But it really got me thinking, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you're entering your age 43 season, do you really want to enter or come in and be on your 4th team, your 3rd team in 3 years, and basically go to the lowest possible bidder, the lowest common denominator, the lowest bidder, a team that is just desperate for any type of starting caliber quarterback, basically turning you into a journeyman quarterback? Aaron Rodgers is never going to do that. He's so desperate to play that he's going to go for the lowest common denominator in the Arizona Cardinals. This would be like if he played for the Browns 8 years ago, And it brought me up to a really sad situation with his career that I don't really think we've seen before. Drew Brees ended on top with the Saints. He was 41. He was in a very similar situation to Aaron Rodgers. He was not the man he used to be. His body was starting to fall apart. His shoulder was hurting. He was playing not at 100% in his last couple seasons. Played well still, made the playoffs, even won a playoff game his last season, but he bowed out, realized he couldn't do it anymore. That was that, right? Tom Brady bowed out at the age of 45. Difference with him is he probably could have kept playing, which is crazy. He could probably still be playing today with his play style of being in the pocket, being a statue, relying on his arm, which he still has. He probably still could be playing today. But the only other quarterback I think of where this has happened, where they're still playing, but they're just gradually regressing with age, that the team that they've been with for the longest time doesn't want them anymore, And now it's like, who is going to take a flyer on a 43-year-old Aaron Rodgers? He's not good enough to win a team a ring. He's shown that. He's at 75%, roughly. He's not going to be able to win them a ring, and you can't invest long-term on him either. He's not an attractable option for any team, really. He would have made sense if he went to the Raiders to mentor Fernando Mendoza, but is that what he wants? Does he want to be a bridge quarterback to give up? Like, that's the whole reason why he was upset when they drafted Jordan Love. So is that what he wants? So it's come to this point where, has Aaron Rodgers been figured out of the NFL ecosystem? He can clearly still play. I would say that as of right now, with what we've seen from Aaron Rodgers in 2025 and 2024 with the Jets and Steelers, he is, at this point in his career, a average tier NFL starter. That's what I see him as right now. But at 43 years old, what team is going to pick a flyer on him? What team is going to pick him up? You know, it makes sense for the Cardinals to have Aaron Rodgers, but if I'm Aaron Rodgers, am I going to want that? I'm thinking I'm one of the best quarterbacks ever played the game. I'm gonna have my last year out playing for the Cardinals. I feel like that's kind of going outside, don't you think? So it's the same thing with Russell Wilson, right? Russell Wilson was scratching and clawing for a starting position, which is why he went to the Steelers. Very similar situation. The Steelers did something very similar. They got an old veteran quarterback. They have a great offensive line. They have weapons that they can sort of take advantage of. They have a stout defense that will play when they need to. They're very hot and cold, but they've managed to get to 10 wins. On paper, if you have a above average NFL starting quarterback, they should be able to elevate the team a little bit to get them over the hump to getting to 11, 12 wins, winning a playoff game. That didn't happen last year when Aaron Rodgers was on the Steelers. So it's very interesting where Aaron Rodgers fits in today's NFL. If I was him, I would pick up what the Steelers are giving me. Give me one more year with the Steelers, new head coach, because that's going to be his best situation to succeed. The Steelers have a great defense. They do have weapons on offense. They're a very stable franchise. He's partnered back up with Mike McCarthy, who, it's a very anti-Steeler move to retread after having some great luck with head coaches, going with a retread, albeit good quarterback in Mike McCarthy. It could lead to some benefits. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm re-signing with the Steelers and trying to make one more push. But going with the Cardinals, I can't think of a sadder way to go. So that's my little video. I could go on all day about this, but I think I've pretty much said everything without, repeating myself. But that's that. I'll try to make some more off-season content, but we are getting close to the 2026 season, so the prediction videos are going to come back. Be on the lookout for me reviewing or previewing each team's 2026 season, just like I did last time. Also, be on the lookout for some of my BattleBots videos as well. Trying to be more active on my YouTube channel. So I'll see you all next time. Take care and enjoy this warm weather too.